What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Southwest Fishing. So today we're not doing any sort of fishing, but we are going to talk about some fishing. So I'm going to be talking about just a few baits that you can use to go out to any sort of these local lakes, whether it's an urban pond or you go out to one of the major lakes like Bartlett, Pleasant, Roosevelt, wherever you choose to fish. And these are a few baits that have been working for me personally, and I just wanted to relay that information to you guys and hopefully help you guys be able to go and catch a few more fish. So in the meantime, let's get started. We're going to start off with topwater because, I mean, come on, let's be real. Who doesn't like a little bit of topwater action? And this is just a basic little mega bass popper. Let me see what it exactly is. This is a mega bass pop X. Awesome little color, just kind of like a sexy shad color, super small, has a really good blooping noise when you're popping it along the water, and it also walks really well. You could walk this little sucker, and obviously you can use it on a lighter action bait caster. You can also use it on any sort of spinning gear. I like to use it on my spinning gear primarily, and on the reel I like to use anywhere from 10 to 15 pound braid, and you can pair that up with anywhere from 6 to 8 pound mono. Pretty much just whatever my drop shot setup is, that is really what I use for the poppers. They work excellent, and like I said, you can walk them and they walk really well, considering that it's a popper. It's kind of weird, but it's pretty wicked as well. And when you see the bass come up and chow down on this, it is freaking insane. It is exciting as can be, because I mean, who doesn't like a little bit of a topwater bite? The next bait, we're going to the bottom, obviously the jig. Never go wrong with the jig. Black and blue's been working really well for me. Green pumpkin, obviously, any sort of shad color, sexy shad has been working really good. Even the bluegill, but I've been primarily doing relatively well on black and blue. This is just a basic 3/8 ounce Trashmaster jig, and I like these jigs because they're really weedless. I mean, they're impossible to really hang up into any sort of cover unless you're fishing heavy duty rocks, because it's got the little twist that you can put your plastic on, and then obviously it's weedless when you run your finger across. So pretty wicked. This is just a little Okeechobee Craw color, and it's also a Rage Craw is what I'm using. So but when you're fishing a jig, ideally I personally like to fish them off points, any sort of steep rocky ledges, anything like that, and just work it slow. Don't feel the need to work it fast. Me personally, I've been catching a lot of the fish by just dragging it. Not really a whole lot of action, not popping, not doing any of that crazy stuff. I mean, you can do that and probably get a pretty good reaction strike, and it'd be really exciting, but I've been just dragging it. A slow roll, let it pause, reel up the slack, slow roll, pause, reel up the slack. Just super simple, nothing too extravagant when it comes to the jig fishing. Just a basic drag is going to be able to get you a few bites here and there, but this is just a basic little 3/8 ounce Trashmaster jig. And like I said, these are awesome because you could flip them into some pretty heavy cover and not lose them because of how the jig is set up. It's a really good design. Next, the Z-Man's TRD Craw. I mean, who doesn't like fishing a Ned rig with a little tiny craw? They just hands down catch fish. These specific ones are just a green pumpkin. I also have California Craw that's been working really well as well. You can use any sort of bait fish color that's been working really good too. But the reason why I like these is because you can catch a ton of fish on them before any of them pop off, because they're made out of that like elastoplastic. So they're super durable. The pinchers don't fall off, not like a typical Ned rig bait. You catch 2-3 fish on it and it's gone. These things are always so lifelike, and another great thing about them is when you're bouncing on the bottom, these pinchers are standing up on the bottom because that elastic plastic stuff, I don't know what it's called. If one of you guys know what that specific plastisol is called, let me know, because I always say that elastoplastic stuff. I sound like an idiot saying that. Anyways, super durable, and it's awesome because that elastoplastic stuff is so light. These float in the water column, so the pinchers are always sticking up at all times, because the presentation is making the craw look like it's going on the attack or it's trying to defend itself. And when a craw is trying to defend itself and its pinchers are straight up in the air, that's going to attract the bass to come and hit it, because the bass is like, I'm bigger than you, I'm going to come and eat you, and that's just how it is. So make sure you guys check out that Z-Man's TRD Craw. Insane. Green pumpkin and also the California Craw has been slaying pretty well for me. So you can pair that up even on a super small Nico rig hook and like a 1/8 ounce tungsten weight, and you could Texas rig it like a micro Texas rig. That's been working pretty well for me as well. So I mean, you guys can always do that. And next, you got the basic Zoom fluke, and as you can see, I only got one left because clearly they're working. With the Zoom Super Fluke, that's just a baby bass color. You can obviously twitch it like crazy, especially because right now all the bass are starting to feed and just go crazy first thing in the morning. So you could do a weightless Texas rig when it comes to the Zoom Super Fluke, and you can just twitch it. You're gonna get bit like that. You could do a double rig fluke where you have two flukes on your leader and one's higher and then one's in the back, and they're both just twitching like crazy going through the water column. The bass are gonna hit that. And you can also pair it up on a drop shot, and you're probably going to get more hookups when it comes to the drop shot if you use a size 3 EWG hook instead of a basic size 2 circle hook or whatever you guys use for your drop shot hook. So definitely an excellent bait, very fun to fish, and these are so versatile. You can use them in so many different scenarios. You can fish them around any sort of cover, points, ledges, drop-offs, rocky points, grass, trees, it doesn't matter. These work anywhere. I mean, legitimately anywhere. And last but not least, so later in the evening, around this time, realistically, the bass are pushing the shad up against points, ledges, shallow flats, everything like that. And just a basic square bill is going to get you bit. You just run it right through that water column, right where they're chasing all that bait fish. Stay on the perimeters of them. Don't cast right into the middle of it. You'll still get bit, but you're going to spook the shad and spook a lot of things around. So cast on the perimeters, cast in front, work around it, because the second that bass sees that lone bait fish swimming alone, it's going to go and attack it. It's an easy meal for them. So make sure you cast on each side or parallel with the bait. Don't cast right into it, because if you're casting right into it, there's thousands and thousands of baits for the bass to eat. So why would they choose yours? So make sure you're looking around, trying to guess where they're moving next, casting that general direction, and you're going to be able to get bit. Just a quick run through again. We're going to go with the Topwater popper, the Pop X by Mega Bass. Awesome little sexy shad. You can walk it, you can pop it, you can work it over any sort of ledges, you can work it over grass, any sort of structure, points. Excellent bait, and who doesn't like Topwater? Next, you got jigs. Work them on rocky ledges. You can use this sucker up in trees because it's weedless. You're not going to hang up. And make sure you guys go check out Trashmaster jigs. They're awesome. They're on shopcarls.com. They come in a 1/4 ounce, a 3/8 ounce, and I believe a 1/2 ounce. So make sure you check them out because they come in handy, especially if you're fishing in some pretty dirty cover. Next, you got the TRD Craw by Z-Man. Awesome because super durable. Catch like 60-70 fish on it before anything starts to tear, and ideally paired up just like with a little Ned rig head, like a 1/8 or even a 1/16 if you really want to go super finesse, and you're going to catch a lot of fish at that slow steady fall. And then once you're bouncing on the bottom and the pinchers are sticking up at all times, that defense mode, it gets those bass riled up. So make sure you guys check that out. Next, you got the Zoom Super Fluke. You can use pearl white, you can use the little baby bass color. I love the baby bass color because that green flashes really nicely in the water column, especially when the water is a little bit murky as it is. So make sure you guys check this out. You can use it like a typical fluke and just pop it through the water column. You can set it up on a drop shot. You could do a double fluke rig. Awesome technique. Very fun to fish, and the fish will hammer it. And last but not least, and just like I said, this is just a basic little booyah crankbait. Nothing special. Little square bill, 3 to 5 foot diver. Nothing too special about it, but just a basic shad color. Really awesome to fish. And make sure you guys are paying attention because those shad are coming up first thing in the morning and last light, and you're going to be able to slay those fish. You're going to be able to cast on the perimeters, cast them around them, and you're going to be able to catch those fish because they're going to see this lone little bait swimming by itself, and they're going to inhale it. You're going to get some intense freaking thumps on this sucker. You can also use this and kind of rip it and give it a pause. The fish are eating it on a pause, so make sure you try different techniques with it as well. But in the meantime, it's getting dark. I'm hoping that this lighting's still relatively well, and I hope this was a little bit informative for you guys, and you guys can use these techniques and go out to the lake or any sort of pond and catch these fish for yourself. And I want to say thank you to every single one of you guys hopping on board to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. The growth has been phenomenal. 450 subs the last 28 days. That is incredible. You guys are awesome. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you stay tuned for that giveaway on June 4th, and we'll see you guys next time on Southwest Fishing.